you live from Lanseria in Gauteng, just out here in Joburg. I'm with Courtney and Eugene, and we're gonna get over and after some of this high-felt grassland habitat today. Flipping trash and hopefully trying to turn up some species you don't get to see all that often. But we'll let you know as soon as we find something. Oh God. Disappointing. Oh, plated lizard. Have you got one?
We got two.
I got two. Well, we got two.
Double flipper.
Let's have a look.
That's so strange because I flipped this earlier.
These things are so hot under here. We got double flip on the yellow-throated plated lizard. Nice first
Squad.
First herp in Johannesburg. Peaches didn't even get an intro today. But there's the Peaches in his famous cannabis-looking shirt. But have a look at that.
The single moms of Greenside love this t-shirt.
We flipped two. Yeah, yours is actually a lot prettier than this one. Let's have a closer. Here's a closer look at that yellow-throated plated lizard. You can see he's really dusty. Got a really growing tail. He's probably missing about 2/3 of his tail. But yeah, we'll see if we can't get some photographs of these without losing them, because they're a little bit quick.
Be a good boy.
I don't know if we can get it. Absolutely nothing.
Nobody's home. You are a nice boy. With a full tail.
Courtney's got a nice boy. Oh, he's a bit dark, is he not?
He is a little bit angry.
He's a little brachydactylus. This actually is really a good looking animal. Definitely need some little pictures of him.
Sharpness.
He sits still, but yeah, Peach is going just under this little rock there. Well, it's a large rock. After far too much effort, we got this variable skink, Trachylepis varia. Peach flipped it under that little rock. We ran around to try to get it, but really common little skinks. You're just difficult to get hands on. Generally quite difficult to get photos of, but we'll get some photos of this little guy. You can see he's quite a dark dorsum. We are losing light pretty quickly, but we're going to try to flip the rest of the rocks on this hill and then head out of here.
Always a good time.
Oh, Peaches just flipped this little brown house thing. Nice to have a look at, actually. I haven't seen one from Gauteng in a while. You see how nicely the straps on the head are. Almost no patterns compared to the ones you see in KZN and the ones we see in the Western Cape. But just grab a record shot and let this little guy go. This is a little Transvaal thick-toed gecko, Brachydactylus affinis. I'm just going to release him. Saw a couple of these yesterday. Beautiful specimen though. Just turned up another incredibly common species for the day. This is Afrotyphlops bibrani. Bibron's blind snake. Usually extremely difficult animals to photograph. They don't sit still. But have a look at his head. You can see the eyes. It's just covered by this translucent scale. It's got a big rostral scale on the nose there. And you'll see when we typically put them back on the ground, they just move so irregularly. And they're just evil snakes to photograph. But we'll get some photographs of this guy quickly. Chuck him back under his little rock. So here we have a rhombic nighthawk. He just got a double flip with this and a really large brown house snake, which I'll show you in a second. You can see it's got this characteristic V-shaped marking on the head, often confused with the rhombic egg eater. But these guys are venomous. It's not a true adder in the sense like the puff adder and some of the other adders we see. Venom is not nearly as potent, but still not something you want to take a bite from. The snake's incredibly grumpy, so we just got a couple of pictures and we can just set it on its way. So this is a really nice brown house snake that we double flip with that night adder. Of course, we saw this in the last video. Well, saw one of these in the last video. These beautiful white stripes on the side of the head, V-shaped markings. These ones here in the high felt are very, very plain. They don't have many patterns or much going on. But we just grabbed a couple of pictures of this guy. You can see he's an absolute monster of a specimen. So we're just going to let him go back under his rock, carry on flipping. So we're just flipping more and more trash. Oh, this is heavy. Well, that is a huge Cape skink. That thing was enormous. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, it was a casino and a cacosternum. It's a bubbling casino and what was caco? Let me grab these guys. So we just flipped this Cape skink. Look at the size of this. The size of like a small blue tongue skink from Australia. This thing is massive. I don't think I've ever seen one in the Cape that's that big. I mean, that's the Cape skink in relation to the size of Peaches. I mean, it's basically like a third of his body. This thing is absolutely huge.
It's not.
Oh, don't tempt him. Sick, we'll get some photos of this. This guy is absolutely enormous. So I just caught that big Cape skink. Courtney's like, I want to see the Cape skink. Courtney learned the hard way.
He was about to let go, but he is.
Look at him. We're just trying to get him off there, so if you hang them, oh, there you go. Almost off. Well, we have to deal with this. Here's this little southern rock gama. He's just basking on this rock, and I just sort of spooked him, so he just stuck down. He's pretty chill. They usually shoot off at the first sign of contact. But this guy's busy basking at about 11:30 in the morning, so it's really, really hot, and he is just hanging out. And Eugene flipped this nice little brown house thing. It was sitting nicely in my hand until I decided to record it. But it's really hot, so we're just taking it easy, getting some photos, but you can see it's barely patterned. Nice little stripes on the head. Yeah, nice little small one. Much smaller than that tangible one we saw earlier. But he can go live his best life and eat some geckos. We got a little herald snake, another species for the day. You can see how nice and red the upper layer, well, it's more orange. Upper lips are nice speckles all along the body. You can see as he exhales, you can see them slightly better. Yeah, he's being very, very cooperative. We got some nice pictures. Got another little house snake to photograph quickly that we just turned up. We'll get to it. So this is one of our major targets today. This is a striped grass snake. Quite uncommon here in Gauteng. But we're going to just let this dude go. See how quickly he disappears in the grass. Not that quickly, actually. Welcome to the south coast of KwaZulu-Natal on the east coast. It's a really nice spring afternoon and we're back at these concrete poles. And we're going to give them a quick squiz and see if there aren't any snakes inside. And there we go. We've got a spotted bush snake right in the bottom there. So I'm going to try and get him out. He is quite far and there's a lot of trash in here. And the pole is really deep, so let's give it a go. Here's that spotted bush snake that I just managed to pull out of that concrete tube. We just got it to a safe spot to release it. But you can see the snake is absolutely incredible. It's just inflating its throat there a little bit. You can see the turquoise tongue coming in and out. I actually think the snake is gravid. You can see the heavily keeled scales, which enables him to climb quite well. But thankfully we got to it in time. I mean, if it had been there a couple more weeks, it probably would have become quite severely dehydrated. But, well, that did not take long at all. Have a look here. We've got a little sleeping flap-neck chameleon. This is Chameleon dilepus, one of the largest chameleons here that we get in Southern Africa, distributed around much of sub-Saharan Africa. If you have a look, this one is probably one of this year's babies. He's about 7 or 8 months old at this stage. But he is sleeping just in this tall grass. The young chameleons typically sleep in the tall grass like this and cruise around here during the day. And as they get slightly larger, they'll move into the larger bushes and vegetation. Let me give you an idea of what the habitat looks like. So you can see it's a mixture of tall grasses and there are sort of scattered trees. This guy's just chilling in here. We're not going to disturb him, not going to pick him up. And we'll move on and hopefully turn up some bigger ones. So would you look at that? I was just walking under this little tree. Well, I walked past it and I heard something plop on the ground. And I obviously accidentally bumped this tree and this little flap-neck chameleon just popped off the tree. into the leaf litter down here, so he didn't get hurt or anything. But yeah, this is about the same size as the little one we found in the grassland, but I'm just gonna pop him back on his branch. I assume he was just on this little section here, so I'm just gonna pop him back here, and he will, once he settles, he'll obviously just go right back to sleep, and he'll probably just start moving off in the morning. It's quite interesting to see such a small one in a tree like this. They, like I said earlier, they are usually restricted to the grass. But just to give you an idea, this tree is sort of interconnected with this palm, and then it links, so it just provides a nice sort of pathway for this animal to move across. You can see he's a little bit spotted, obviously, from plopping on the floor and being a bit agitated. He's not too happy with me, but just make sure that he goes away. And like I said, we are gonna just carry on, and hopefully we can turn up an adult or two. So it's just started diverting my attention to looking at some of the trees and shrubs in this area. It's not uncommon to find things like the southern twig snake, highly venomous rear fang species, as well as sleeping green snakes like green mambas and the western Natal green snake, as well as the spotted bush snake. They quite often are curled up in the branches. But yeah, we saw a handful of chameleons tonight, a really nice big one, a couple small ones. But I'm gonna call it a night for now, and I will catch up with you guys when I head out again tomorrow. So apologies for the background noise, but there's not much I can do about that. I just walked up on this really good looking Natal forest tree frog. He was out calling, and I just saw there's another one. Have a look. There's another one. Is this vocal sac out? No. You can see how they call from these exposed sections. Oh, I spooked him. Yeah, and he'll go down like this. But yeah, these forest tree frogs are really common in this area, but the high-pitched noise you can hear in the background calling amongst these little sedges here is actually the painted reed frog. Let's see if we can't turn one of those up. Let's have a look at this gorgeous flat-neck chameleon. We just got cruising along this little dirt road here. Well, dirt road behind me. So I just picked him off of the dirt road, well her, it's a big female, and we're just going to release her just into the trees where she'll be away from the cars.